Well, usually I forget these things, but surely I'll remember you.
So, Ayla, great audition. The immediate first moment, because you're so still, I was instantly brought in, which is obviously a great way to start a tape. And then when you pointed with the you, I would say drop the gesture, just use your words, use the script, use your intention, use your action in order to get your point across, because I don't feel that it's necessary. And then the banging on the table after that here, but you know what I'm saying when you do that. Again, just you're such a good actor, so trust yourself, trust that with the script, you can do that. Now, if you wanted to have a moment of scaring, that's fine. I would just say bring it all in a little bit. You go on and it's really good work. I would say take a beat before you say, well, that's the story you tell your friends, because that's a beat change. So you've got some really good beat changes, like before you said, don't you think? You have a wonderful moment there. It's all about those little moments between the words that can be so good with an actor, and I feel often distinguishes good ones and great ones. It's those moments and how we feel them, and you do such a great thing there before, don't you think? It's just a little thing, and throughout the audition, you have a twinkle in your eye, which is just so fun to watch. My coach, Rob McCaskill, I've got a teacher and then I've got a coach, and my coach, Rob McCaskill, always says, do it with a twinkle, because it's fun to watch, whether we're, and you can often justify it if you're playing a patient who's on their deathbed. Well, maybe that patient, as they're saying what they're saying to their family, wants to comfort them, so there's a twinkle in their eye even in that moment. And obviously it's not for every part, but when you're playing a serial killer, there's definitely, trust me, I know, I've done it a few times. There's a twinkle because that character loves what they do. So, great job. Yeah, really engaging audition, and it was a joy to watch. So, keep going and break a leg.
Hey Howard, it's me, Bateman, Patrick Bateman. Listen, man, you're my lawyer, so I just figured I should let you know that I have killed a lot of people. I killed a bunch of escort girls in my apartment in Uptown. I killed a bunch of homeless people, maybe 5, I don't know, 10. I killed some NYU girl that I met in Central Park, and I left her body in a parking lot behind a donut shop. I killed Bethany, my old girlfriend, with a nail gun.
Hey Benjamin, Tara here. Good audition. I was very impressed. I think that at the beginning of it, it seems as if you're in the middle of something already. I like that. It's interesting and it's a great start, so it really brought me in. When you're saying your name though, when you say your character's name, I'm not sure what your action is there. I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish. I don't know if the person you're speaking to got it wrong, always forgets it, or if in a moment, maybe because you're a little schizophrenic, you don't remember your name. I don't know. The point is I don't know what's happening in that moment, and I need to know. So you said your name in a way that you were doing something with it, but I don't know what you're doing. So just be sure that you know. I mean, if you know your name, just say your name. I think your audition is really good. So that's why I'm being a little hard here, because you're a good actor, and I want to help if I can. All of the people that you killed, and again, not every single one. It doesn't have to be, and I felt this way about that person, this way about that person, and this way about that person. That's not what I'm saying. But it seemed the same energy kind of throughout, and I would say pick and choose. That NYU girl, was she the hardest one you've ever had to kill because she was pleading with you in a way that reminded you of a family member who died of cancer, and something about her desperation for life reminded you of them, so it was actually kind of hard to kill her, maybe a little bit, and yet the fact that you did made it even more enjoyable at the same time, because you could do it. You could get past it. You're not a wimp. You could kill her. I'm just saying, maybe it's not that, but if you know how you feel about killing every single one of them, then we'll know. And again, it doesn't have to be something so different for all of them, but pick and choose. Maybe one was your favorite. Oh, the way they struggled. Maybe one scared you a little bit because they actually, for half a second, seemed like they were going to get away. So I don't know if it's a question really of your pace. You need to change your pace at moments so that we can understand that you were actually afraid in that moment, or it's just the most delicious words rolling off your tongue. Keep your eyes a little closer to the camera as I look way down, but this isn't an audition. You know, you've got great eyes, so let us see it. Yes, it's good to look away when you are speaking to someone or, you know, wherever you place them, but don't place them too far from obviously for an audition, you don't look into the camera, but don't place them too far from where that is. And a lot of people, if something happens on the outside during an audition, they're like, I gotta do it again. And meanwhile, they've just thrown away their best tape. Whatever it was, whether you said to someone, make a noise at that moment, or you rolled with it, it was great. So for me, I've produced things before. If I'm looking at this tape, I'm like, all right, that's an actor that can roll with the punches, you know, because something might happen in the middle of a take that ruins the take, but you're never going to show one consecutive take unless it's, you know, Birdman or something like that. And it wouldn't have ruined what you'd already done, so that was great. All right, I'm rambling because I thought your tape was good.
Oz! I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't enjoy hurting anybody. I don't like bombs or guns or electric chairs, but sometimes people just won't listen.
Hi, Sabrina. For starters, as soon as it begins, your audition, great look. You've got a great look, you know, and the lighting that you've used is very good. Your makeup, you know, everything. You've got a great look. So right away, I'm like, oh, okay, good. I'm interested, I'm here. And you catch me right at the beginning. For TV and film auditions, even let's say you were filming this for a theater audition. The point is you're not in person auditioning for a theater role. You're sending a tape. So whether it's a tape for theater or this is an actual TV film audition, the camera catches everything. And stillness can be so important. So I would say keep it a little more simple. Trust your acting. Trust that you know what you're doing. Trust that you've got your actions and your goals that your character wants to do set in place. And then just settle in and do it. And that's the main thing I would say regarding your audition, that I would just simplify everything. One thing also, and this is something I've personally had to work on, so right now I'm looking in the camera. If I'm speaking to someone off camera, keep it very close, like there, maybe to the side there. But as soon as I even go there, I don't know how it's looking right now. I'm looking so close to the camera, but it probably looks like I'm looking far away. Your eye line was really far from the camera, and you've got such great eyes, so just show your eyes. Yes, you know, which by the way, the prop was great. I'm not usually a fan of props, but that's such a simple, easy prop that you could use, so good choice. Oh yeah, when you said that you were graceful and delicate, the contrast of how you said that for those words was funny, so good choice. That's what you would want to do. More of the whole tape. Taking a beat change and having that moment it's not about time. It's just about having something different happen to the character. But the stillness and the smallness with which you did it in that moment, I would carry throughout the rest of your audition, because it's, you know, let the audience come to you is what I would say. But great job, and keep breaking a leg.
All I have in common with is the uncontrollable and the insane.
Hey, Jesse, good tape. Good audition. I have feedback. Overall, I think it was a good audition. You look fantastic. You've got a very good look, and you know, that doesn't hurt. What I would say is, what happened right before you started your audition? Meaning, like, what happened in the moment before you were saying what you were saying to that person? Because I'm not sure. Did they say something that really hurt your feelings about crossing barriers? Did they say something absurd? I don't know, were your feelings horrifically hurt? I'm not sure. And I should have some idea. So make sure that you know what the moment is before you start that monologue. Like, why are you saying those things right now? What is causing you to say them right now? Because, you know, your character's in so much pain. but I should have a better understanding through your actions as to what's going on. Connect. I'm not sure who you're speaking to, or, you know, I feel like if you really knew who you were speaking to and why you were saying those things right now, and then just really connected with them, that it would be a stronger audition. So had I been in the room when you were filming, I would have said, take a breath, and now just talk to me, and just start again. So do that. For example, the moment before you said, even after admitting this, that was a great moment. That was a great beat change. You let it, you just took your time. It was a, you know, it was a beat change. It was a different thing that happened inside of you that we were able to see, and it really brought me in. So I was like, oh yeah, do that throughout, you know, because it was just very, very connected, and great work in that moment. So that was wonderful. The stillness throughout it is good because, you know, it's hard sometimes to not push, and in a monologue like that, I think a lot of actors could have fallen down that rabbit hole of wanting to do more when the stillness is what makes it so good. So I tip my hat. Good job with that. Really, really good job with that, actually. Congratulations. And yeah, keep up the good work and break a leg.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest ever so delicately that I've suggested it myself, but I hate to think of such a thing.
Hey Daniel, I'm Tara. Hello, hello. Good monologue. Really good monologue. I would take a moment to establish your feelings about whatever was just said to you. You know, a lot of times, trust me, I know, I've done it. An actor will start a monologue and they just start. But what happened in that moment before? Why are you saying this now to this person? You know how someone else could have done it, but they could have punched those words someplace more than is necessary, and you didn't, so good job. It's like begging for that to happen, and so many would have, so I'm glad you did, and that was great. Yeah, you know, just slow down a little bit between the beats. You've got some really nice movement, like your paces, the pacing, rather. You're faster, you're slower, so that, you know, brings us in depending on what it is your character's trying to accomplish in that moment. But just have something that causes your character to say something differently, which you're doing throughout, but I think that you can do that a little more. Good. Yeah, you know, your character is filled with such anger for your mom, and that's not something that anyone wants to admit, ever, even to themselves. And a character like that, a person would cover that up, and you're doing a beautiful job of that. So very good job. I think a lot of people could have gone a different way with that I don't think would have been nearly as strong. And it was subtle, and I love subtleties in this kind of role. So good job. All right.
Why can't I kill you? I have no feelings for you whatsoever. I don't know you. We never met.
Hey, Thomas, very good audition. You know, the second it started, I was like, oh, I love the wardrobe. The wardrobe's great. He went for it. He did it. 2 seconds later, I was like, oh, look over here. Thomas, look over here. So I am going to say this loud and clear because it hurt that audition, and I think it was a very good audition, but it could have been I think it's an even better audition than you allowed me to see. You can't have your eyes that far off the camera, ever, ever, ever. So that's in the camera. That's the top of where the camera isn't, but I'm still literally looking at my phone. And when I look at this later, I'm hoping it looks like that's in and that's off. This is hardly turning my head from the camera, but I imagine that looks quite off. Just allow yourself to really take in how you're feeling in every moment is what I would say. That's it. It was a very interesting audition. I thought you did a great job. And I'm not gonna go on and on about it again, but get your face, your eye line closer to the camera, please, because you have that je ne sais quoi thing. You've got it. Some people are more watchable than others. You're very watchable. You're interesting and you're watchable, so let us watch you.
And when she finds out that you were out of work, a low estimation of you will drop even lower.
Hi, Galika. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Forgive me if I'm not, please. Tara. Good audition. For starters, you look fantastic. You chose a strong beginning, which is good. And then you go on, and I'm not quite sure who this character is or what's happening. And I still don't fully understand who you are or what's happening. I said the first half of the monologue before that, I'm enjoying it, but you don't have me like you have me from that moment. And I get that there's a shift in the character at that point, and you did it beautifully. I would just say bring everything in at the beginning a little bit smaller. You're a good actor. You used your space, and you did what my coach always calls zigzagging in the scene. You know, you used a lot of different ranges in that same scene, which was wonderful. Really good work. Yeah, that's it. All right. Bring it down a little bit at the beginning, I would say. Trust. You know what? For example, like the perspiration thing. I wouldn't have done the hand gesture because you're so good. You're so good right there, and you have us. So you can just, you know, be looking at them, and then you just look a little bit higher because now you're looking at the head where it is, and it disgusts you. So if you don't use the hand gesture and you just let us see it, because you're good enough as an actor, as an actress that you can do that, because I can see how good you are, just have it come through with your disgust of what you see, the perspiration coming from there instead of gesturing. That's the one thing I would say. And here's the thing, I couldn't say that maybe to another actor because I wouldn't necessarily think that they could pull it off, but you're very good, so you can. All right.
One day I was reading an article during Hurricane Katrina, and I came across this story of a little boy who got his foot stuck in the fence. And the fire department came and they tried to get his little foot free, but the water just kept rising and rising.
Hey, Warren, you're one hell of an actor. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a working actor, but you should be. You got a little Billy Bob Thornton thing going on, and I love him. He's one of my favorite actors, so take that as a huge compliment, whether you like him or not, because from me, it's a huge compliment. You're really good. So what I did during this whole process is I would watch a tape once the whole way through, beginning to end, and then I'd watch again and I'd take notes. I'd stop it, take notes, stop it, take notes. With yours, I watched it and then I watched it and then I watched it, and I wasn't taking notes because I was just like, oh, he's so good. He's so good. He's not moving. He's so still. And when he moves, it's for a reason. Like, you're a freaking good actor. So I'm starting with that. And I don't say that to a lot of people. All right. I will say that your stillness throughout was great. I completely believed you in this role. There was a moment, I don't remember what you were saying. Hold on, I've got the tape here, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go back just a second so I can remember what you were saying. I can't remember, and it's my computer's frozen right now. But you said something about, it was when you were first, when you'd already said the little boy story, and then you said something, and you were, so Officer Landon, or whatever his name is, again, I'm sorry, I don't remember, there was a twinkle in your eye, and it had been different the entire rest of the monologue prior to that. I'm sorry, that if you'll know what I'm talking about, because you look the same, and then suddenly there's a little twinkle. The twinkle is so good, because there's a reason why you say it. And then you had a little smile after you said something. And that little smile was great because it was chilling. It was like, oh my gosh. But then the critique I'll give you is the wide smile that you did after saying, might I recommend cutting a small piece of yourself off and begin to grow? You had almost said something just like that a moment before, because you were telling him explaining in detail the story of what had happened to that little boy and what he should do. When you say the thing that's just like this before with the little smile, great. When you do that big smile, it's almost like Jokerish smile, but the rest of the character is not that. So that's the one critique I would say. It pulled me out for a second. I was like, no, Warren, don't do that. Because everything else was so still. And your moments of change in your eyes were, you knocked it out of the park. So trust yourself, because you're a really good actor. And yes, I do believe in zigzagging, and I think it's watchable and it's important as an actor, and I think that we can't just do the same thing throughout, which is not what I'm suggesting. I'm just saying in that moment of that second smile, it's too big, because I don't believe it. But the rest of it is freaking so good. Wow. Yeah, that's it. That's one of my favorite auditions that I've watched. And I've, even beyond this, I've produced films and I've watched a lot of auditions for friends who are casting directors, and it's a good tape. Congratulations. Keep breaking a leg.